It was for you. You didn't deal with the fact that the man left. So you were occupied by growing up the child. Now, when the child is big, you see the child as an investment. I did all of this for you. No, you did all of this for yourself. Because this is what kept you going, and this is what kept you focused without dealing with the loss. Because if you were to deal with the loss, maybe the loss might have destroyed you. So you used a child as a distraction because you are not ready to deal with trauma. Now you say, I will never do X, Y, Z. Undealt with trauma by default is coming through everything that you do. You see two parents with a child, then your child is no longer allowed to be friends with that one day because the trauma within you is projecting. Now you see a happy family, now you don't want your child to hang out with that child. Why? Because trauma is saying he's got two parents. He's going to come back and ask me the question, where's daddy? Then when he asks, where's daddy? I have to lie now because daddy's been trying to be in the life. But because I haven't dealt with my trauma, I can't give daddy space. Why? I didn't deal with what happened. That's why I mentioned the thing of, I lost the person, but what exactly did I lose? Because trauma is going to say you need another person. Another person is going to come, person is going to fill 6 out of 10. Then you're looking for the 4 in another person. Now you've got 2 people you're keeping as side husbands just in case. That's trauma. We're not dealing with the trauma that comes from toxicity. So you're gone now, you're happy, I finally got out of it. It's in you. Those 20 years you spent in that environment, it shaped your character. At what point do we deal with the effects of that toxicity? Sitting with yourself. But even if you sit with yourself, you can sit with yourself and not be honest. You can sit for 5 hours, the whole day, and you can sit, but you're not honest. So you're going to get nothing from that. Oh, I sat with myself. And some of us, we sit with ourselves, and we justify to ourselves why we're fine. Now, because someone's going to leave here and say, hey, no, the brother said I must sit with myself. Then you sit with yourself, that man was trash. You've left sitting with yourself, justifying all your wrongdoing. Not saying, okay, truthfully, what was the issue? Truthfully. And if I'm going to sit down, I must also be ready to deal with me. I also might have been the problem. With that. Maybe I was too stuck in my own ways. I couldn't adjust to accommodate certain things that in hindsight, 20 years later, I probably should have just accommodated that because it was nothing to begin with. So that's why I came to that question is, yes, you've left the environment. But what's happening inside of you that the environment did? You haven't dealt with it. Again, remember, because it's inside of you, it's rooted. It's rooted. That's now the roots. Then yes, your fruit might be different, but it's still toxic. Because the DNA is in the fruit. Now the children are eating it. Then you mentioned something of comparison. You know where comparison comes from? If my child is not good enough, it's easy for me to say, you see the neighbor's child, how the neighbor's child is doing. It's harder for me to say, what did I do wrong that this child doesn't have this specific trait? And if I ask myself, what did I do wrong, I start to view myself as a failure. So because I'm not ready, and if I view myself as a failure, it's going to bring up those traumas. And because I'm not ready to do with those traumas, it's easy for me to compare with the neighbor child. And say, you see, so-and-so's getting A's, you're getting C's. But if you look at the world, C students are running the entire world. So it's that trauma. How do we deal with that trauma that has come with toxicity so that we can, yes, move out, but moving out doesn't automatically mean moving forward. You can move out, you can have all the cars, you can't sleep at night. So how do we deal with that? And deal with it truthfully so we can truthfully grow and move forward so that when we're teaching our kids, we know that it's coming from the right place. Sometimes you're saying, look, I want my kids to do better than me. So you give them better things, but you don't give them better advice. You have what you have because of now, the knowledge you now have. But instead of imparting knowledge, you start buying things. Yet you know you only have the things because of the knowledge you have now. So we end up giving our children things and not knowledge. What happened to them? They're not equipped to handle those things. Because it's your knowledge that you've got over these years all of that struggling you had to do, all of that fighting you had to do. It's built up a knowledge base, an understanding base. That's why you can afford now to give your children these things. Then you give your children the things with no knowledge. What are you doing? You're damaging the child. Because the child's going to go into life expecting the same level of things, but they don't have the knowledge to be able to handle those things. Now all of a sudden, the man is not good enough. Why you can't give me those things? Hey, we gave you those things because we were traumatized. We thought that's what you need. Whereas we needed to develop your mindset. How do you view the world? How do you think? School teaches us what to think. It doesn't teach us how. Your life, your family, your friends teach you how to think. Then we've dressed our child up. The child is looking amazing. We have a conversation with the child and we realize we're in trouble. So how do we deal with that?